Ladies and gentlemen, after extensive research, detailed research, observation, reflecting, meditating, downloading, annotating, watching, we are now here with the official full, and I mean full, Sinners Breakdown. Sinners Movie Breakdown. Let me give you all a disclaimer, okay? I understand that there has been multiple other creators, multiple other movie enthusiasts who have made videos and done their dissecting of the movie, and they found their hidden nuggets and hidden gems in the movie, right? But this one is different. I've seen the movie 4 times, y'all, in theater. Now, I haven't been to the theater since the last Batman movie. Oh no, the last Inside Out 2. Yeah, Inside Out 2. What was it, like a year and a half ago? Okay? I've seen it 4 times in theaters, and I will be going again. That'll be my last time, 5 times. This is such a groundbreaking movie. Such a groundbreaking movie. And I want y'all to know I have so many notes. I have so much notes. This is a whole dissertation. So those y'all watching on YouTube, Patreon, if you need to, put this video to 2 times speed, 1.5 times speed. Get your snacks. Get ready to comment. I want to hear, y'all's takes, y'all's reflections on the movie. Those y'all who've seen it at the crib, in theaters. How was it for you? How was your experience? But sit back. Please enjoy the show. Enjoy this video, because the amount of work, of energy, of brain power, of mental fortitude that it took to concoct all of this. I love doing it, right? But yes, we're here. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's begin. Sinners, let's first start off by congratulating and acknowledging the cast. The director, Ryan Coogler, young. Did y'all know how young Ryan was? Young brother, okay? Michael B. Jordan, of course, and he played the Smokestack twins, both of them, Smoke and Stack. Crazy, right? And Ryan and Michael B. is from different cities in California. For those who didn't know, okay? Shout out Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, who played Mary. Shout out 𝗕𝗏𝗦𝗦, who played Annie. Loved her. Shout out my dog Miles. Sammy Moore. Goodness graciousness. Wow. Did he play that fucking role or what? God damn. Okay. Shout out Lee, who played Grace and had a daughter Lisa, right? And Jamie Lawson, who played Pearline. Omar Benson Miller, Big Cornbread. Shout out Delta Slim. Oh my gosh. I learned something. Oh my goodness. Woo. Shout out Delta Slim. Delroy Lindo. Big shout out to you, OG. And Jack O'Connell, who played Rimmick. Saul Williams, who played Sammy Moore's dad, the preacher. Shout out to Lola Kirk and Nathaniel Arkin, okay? That's the main characters of Sinners. Shout out to y'all. Wow, y'all did such an amazing job. Such an amazing job. And I want to give a big shout out also to my dad, Nicoy Banks. You can see he had a couple roles up in there. You could just type in Nicoy, Nicoye, Banks, and you'll see at the end of the movie, his name was Jacob, right? But shout out everybody a part of this movie, man. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Okay, so Sinners. Let's start off with the introduction here. This was set in Clarksdale, Mississippi, which was a hub that started blues. Okay? Started the legacy of blues, blood, and black resistance. Black legacy. All right? This was such a big hub for black people, down south. Okay? Now, for those of y'all who didn't know, Mississippi was the birthplace of blues, a hub of the great migration, and there was a big point that I wasn't aware of when I seen it the second time when I took notes, but I asked myself, wait, why did the Smokestack Twins, out of all places, go to Chicago? And that was because the train station was from Mississippi to Chicago, right? I didn't understand that. So this town's Mississippi, Clarksdale, Mississippi's rich history is intertwined with the Mississippi Delta's agricultural past, the rise of blues music, and the struggle for civil rights during the 20th century. Okay, remember these things, y'all. Civil rights, blues, agriculture. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. Okay? Now, another big point I want to mention to you guys, of course, music, Delta, Delta Slim, Delta Blues. Okay. The Illinois Central Railroad in Clarksdale was the hub for movement, for trade, for, people coming in and out. It was like the airport. It was the airport during that time. So, not to jump too far ahead, but the scene in which Stack and Sammy went to the train station, right? They went down there and they were looking for Delta Slim, and Delta Slim was there, playing his harmonica, and he was already out there drunk, doing his thing, having a good time, right? That's all he know. And whenever they were on their way back to see what's up with Cornbread, for Cornbread to be the security guard, the bodyguard at the Juke joint, remember they were in the car and Sammy asked Slim, do you know them? Right? Because they had to ride past the cotton fields. And that moved me so much whenever, Slim got up, he told Stack, slow down. And he rose up and he was like, hold your head now, hold your head. And they had the white men on the horses, with their guns, and they, shot the gun. So when Sammy asked him, how do you know, or do you know them? Like, how do you know them? And he's like, I knew all of them. And then he gave the story when his buddy, who he was about to leave with, saved up his money. He was playing, him, his buddy, and some other, people. They were playing at a juke joint, right? But they were playing for some white folks. And he was laughing about how they were switching up the tunes. He was like, them we said the pecker whackers, the Peter whackers was moving their head and bobbing, barely trying to get on beat. Barely on beat, right? And he was saying his homeboy took all his money. He took all his money out, and he was going to catch the train out of Mississippi to build his own church. And before he could even get to his destination, he got stopped by some crackers, as he said, got stopped by some crackers, and they robbed him. They held him at gunpoint, took him off the train, and they hung him on a tree in front of everybody. And they cut off his 𝗕𝗨𝗦𝗦, right? And, him explaining that story. Of course, I didn't pin in the moment. I didn't pin together who or what, but I got the lynching of Emmett Till. Doing research. Of course, I knew about Emmett Till, but he just came. They came up with another name. That's what I felt. Could be wrong, right? But that's what I felt watching it. They cut off his scrotum. They robbed him, and they said, this is basically another casualty, right? Another black man getting lynched, getting hung, getting killed. And them crackers told everybody that he sexually he raped and assaulted one of their wives, one of the white women around town. You see? So that scene, plus many more, got me, that really moved me. And so that was a subtle glimpse of highlighting the struggle of racial inequality. Because that civil rights movement, like, you could see whenever Sammy and Stack got to the train station, you could see, the white men in their hats, in their suits, in their briefcases, commuting for work, and on the whole opposite end of the of the train station was all the black folks playing music, and it really reminded me. I'm from New Orleans, right? You go downtown, Bourbon Street, Claiborne even, right? You will still see it to this day. It reminded me so much of New Orleans, downtown New Orleans, and New York. How they be in the train station still to this day. They sleep there. They had a tents, they had they instruments, their guitar or a dog, an animal, to support them. And that's all they got. And they get money from tips to get food, drink, whatever. So that really drew a lot of different comparisons when I seen that. So we move on. Let's move on. And the amount of symbolism that grew just from the first 10 minutes of this film. From the first scene in which we didn't see Michael B. Jordan, we didn't see nobody. We didn't see Sammy, we ain't nothing. From the first scene when Annie was talking over the theatrical, right? And she was mentioning, that the talent, I'm paraphrasing, but the talent and, some people are born with the talent of creating blues, creating music. It's instilled in us innately. It's like Vince Staples said, when somebody asks us, when did you fall in love with music? That's the dumbest question in the world. That's like saying, when did I first love my mama? When did I first give a shit about my mama? Always, nigga. The hell is wrong with you? We're black. We're black. I always knew, we always had rhythm. Like, we don't got to think about 1, 2, 1, 2 step. 1, 2, 1, 2 step. And we look good doing it. It's natural. We can do it with our eyes closed. We can do it like, it's innate, And that transitioning into the foreshadowing event when Sammy is driving back to the church, back to Mississippi, and back to the plantation, and he has his destroyed guitar. He has his destroyed guitar in his hand. He's bloody. He got the scratch of the devil of Rimmick on his face. He's bleeding. And he walked into the church. Everybody, Sammy. Everything is foreshadowing. Everything. And I didn't really understand that from the last scene. And I mean the very last scene when Sammy was older man and Stack and Mary came, right? Okay? From that scene to the beginning, everything was foreshadowing. Everything was symbolic. Everything. Okay? But woo! Do y'all feel the passion? Like, yo, I was in theaters just in awe every time. Every single time. And I'm that type of person. Like, I could watch, especially about like The Matrix, favorite movie ever. Love The Truman Show. I love Focus with Will Smith. I can watch these movies over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and I will find another nugget, another gem that I didn't see time prior. Or a book. A lot of books. I can read The Alchemist. I can read The Power of Subconscious Mind. I can read Becoming Supernatural. I can read Going Higher or Go Higher, Big Sean book. I can read these books over and over and over again. 12 Spiritual Laws of Success. I can read these books over and over again, and I will find something that will connect to me and align to me in a way that didn't prior, that didn't before. That's why I do it. So when I was watching Sinners, I really caught that, like really, the third time I seen it. How everything is foreshadowing. Everything. So let's continue. The symbols of these zombies, right? The Haints, the Mojo bags, the magic, the black magic, the juke joint, the blues, the music, the camaraderie, the language, right? Addresses the ongoing movement that we created and that was going and that was transpiring through black people, especially in Mississippi, right? Down south. It really depicted, like Ryan Coogler gave a great depiction of what was, but what still is in a different form. So, let's continue. Let's talk about the scene before Sammy and Stack Sammy and Stack and Smoke split up. They went to Smokestack's twins. They were waiting for the white man so they can buy the mill. And the white man was running late, and he pulls up by himself solo. He got his gun, and and just the energy in which Hogwood, right? Just the energy in which he comes in, fixes his belt, he got the gun right there, and he kind of just like, what you boys want? You boys Smokestack twins, right? It's irritating. And you know what I'm talking about. It's irritating. It's so boisterous. It's so, braggadocious. Like, what you gonna do? You boys are Smokestack twins? Here we are. We ready to buy this meal? Yeah, see what's going on. And when they were in the mill and Stack asked the question to Hogwood, so what was on these floors? It was a battle of hierarchy. Did y'all catch that? It was a battle of who can question, who can bargain, who can test who the most. He goes, and then when Hogwood goes, you boys brothers? and Stack goes, nah, we cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, that also insinuated, don't let them know your next move. Do not let them know what you're doing next or what you're thinking next. When you're talking to them, it's a constant game of pitch and catch, curveballs, knuckleballs. It's constant. But with black folks, we have, how we got ebonics, a more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a more something centric, a more not Eurocentric, eccentric type of language. Ebonics is the new age way of communicating. right? But we got like three, 4, 5 other languages that come under that. That's a subsect under that we don't need to even go down that to explain what we mean. We know exactly what we mean. I know exactly what you mean. Exactly. Why do you think you go on social media now? Of course, it's always been a thing, but everything comes in waves. Why is it such a strong current now that people are making these videos? The term is when your mom comes in a room and asks you if you're hungry, or when your mom comes in your room and asks you for something to eat, asks you to eat, right? Or what you want to eat. They got the white phrase and then they got the black phrase in an acronym. They got the first letter of every word. You see what I'm saying? Why is that a wave now? Why is that a strong current now? You see what I'm saying? Because that's another way of us communicating. It's a cultural thing. Like, you got McDonald's money? You got Cane's money? You got Applebee's money? Yeah, we still may get McDonald's or Applebee's, but just to G-check you, your mama, or, your grandma, your auntie, even your dad, they may ask you, okay, where your money at? You got McDonald's money? You know what I'm saying? That's how we talk. So, it was very, and then him spitting, Hogwood spitting on the, what? Like, we clean these floors because we know what we did in here, and I'm going to spit on it before you purchase it. So, Stack ends up giving him the bag. Ends up giving him the bag full of money. He goes, damn. You know what that meant? Damn, how'd you boys get this type of money? And you know what I'm talking about. You felt that too. Damn. And then Smoke proceeds to say, this is the last dime you're going to see from us. This is the last dime. We're taking the mill. We're taking the land, the plantation, everything everything that this sits on. It's ours. And when you or your crackers come to our establishment, we're going to lay them dead right where they stand. And it's so pompous. Hogwood was so pompous, like, all right. What is that? I didn't mean nothing by it. That's just how we talk around here. We didn't mean nothing by it. Yeah, I got grown man bullets, nigga. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? What is that? I got grown man bullets, nigga. What's wrong with you? And another tidbit that I want to throw in there is situations like this grew the black man's mind to obsessively yearn over power because they sought after how much power and control the white man has over us. That part. The obsession of power with a black man. Hey guys, we got heart. We got integrity. We trying to get a certain lifestyle change, lifestyle upgrade, but living by those terms and conditions. They don't have a heart. They created racism. They created all the isms. Sexism, feminism, prejudice, racism. They created all the isms. And we're trying to operate from a code of conduct from them? And that is what breeds, or that's another angle that has bred the black on black crime, the black on black mental crime, the black on black psychological crime. Because guess what? A lot of black folks, I ain't gonna say all, I ain't gonna say most, I love my peoples, man. All right? A lot of black folks, they blackface. Straight up. They blackface, they black skinned, but some house niggas. You're gonna do whatever they say. So they don't have to be outside monitoring everything. They're inside because they're allowing the blackface niggas to do their dirty work, which separates us even more. We got black grown-ass girls trying to tell black women how to be a woman. We got black grown-ass boys, grown as fuck, trying to tell black men how to be black men. Because a wise man, the woman, the divine man, masculinity, femininity, can play a fool, especially to catch one. But the fool can never play this part, can never play the wise man or woman. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I got from all of that. To bring that full circle, that's what I got from this scene. And that shit was so beautiful. That shit was so beautiful. Like, yo. Like, come on. Like, bruh, are you serious? Because, and I'm going to go there. Y'all need to hear it. This is for generations to come. From these fraternities, from these black social groups, these black social clubs, yeah, it may sound, even look cool. You know how many times I got asked to be in a fraternity? You know how many times I got asked to be in a fraternity? I didn't go to college. I didn't go to college. You know how many times I got asked if I wanted to be a Mason? Yeah, more than 3. Yeah. See, that's y'all way of trying to find a small club to do some more ill-willed activities. That's really what it is. Like, oh, this is sacred to us, so we finna do what we do, and then we're gonna hide behind the title. Stupid nigga. It's a Greek fraternity. Alpha, Omega, Psi, Phi. Shit Greek. Worshipping these letters. And guess what? Masonic law is just passed down from... Okay. Masonic law is passed down from their Greek fraternities. You understand what I'm saying? They had the social clubs that nobody could get in. And so here we go. A couple years later, we're going to make our own. And I don't want to go too far on a tangent, but y'all need to hear this. These colleges, these HBCUs, look up who they're owned by. Look up who owns Howard. I'm not going to tell y'all, do your own research. Look up who owns Howard. The forefather and the foremother, if you will. What's their name? What's their last name? From Howard to, Jackson State to... They laugh at this shit. Oh yeah, we're gonna give them their secluded for this time and time on, because we're gonna put them in a time capsule, in a time box. Like, Okay, yeah, you can be all black powered out what you want in your HBCU and in your fraternity and doing all this whoop shit. You could do all of that. You just in a bigger gang. You in a bigger gang, just like us. Just like us, because they know if we didn't have these titles, we'd only have one to two things to do. And that's to unite. That's to be like, shit. I mean, yeah, all this family reunion, college reunion, all this shit cool. But wait a minute. See what I'm saying? That unity. That's but I'm not going to rock with you because I'm a Omega, I'm a Q dog, and you a Alpha. You a Kappa. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that was a beautiful depiction of the separation of tone and body language in power. Because I'm not saying that the Smokestack Twins didn't look like they were about business, because they were. But it was, rightfully so, it was, because we are emotional. We are, soulful people. We are extremely soulful people, which they know. It was Hogwood being so arrogant that really just controlled, like, yeah, we know this is only going to last a day. Because then fast forward at the last couple scenes when, Sammy went off into the sunset and Smoke was still, in the front of the mill. He was rolling up the weed, to kind of channel his brother, him and his brother smoking and shit. Or tobacco, not weed, right? Tobacco. And then they pulled up, right? All the crackers pulled up, and there was like, juke joint. Grand opening, grand closing. Come on, man. Let's go coon hunting. Let's kill these niggas. Let's kill these niggers. Yeah. They knew that was going to happen. So, let's proceed here with another profound epiphany moment in Sinners, whenever Sammy Moore, said his full name, whenever Sammy, finished his quota for the day, and he went to the church. He met up with his dad, went to the church, and he was like, what's up, Pop? I finished my quota for the day. As you say, jump on the work. Don't let the work jump on you. You know what I'm saying? Wait. Last thing. In the mill that the Smokestack Twins were about to buy, when Hogwood said, and he laughed so pompously, wow. He looked at him and he said, Clan? The clan don't exist no more. Oh my gosh. That one line. Excuse me, pardon me, I don't know the exact phrase, the exact wording of this that I'm describing, but I'm going to describe it to y'all and y'all can fill in the blanks. That one line had so many different emotions coming out of it. Grabbing his belt. Hey, boy. The clan don't exist no more. Oh, my gosh. The first time I heard that, you know what I heard innately in my heart? Yeah, dumbass. We don't show up in robes. Why would we do that? Yeah, technology is increasing. Y'all are becoming a little bit too smart, wise, observant now. Yeah, because everything is exposed. We're in the age of Aquarius. Everything is exposed. Information is at everybody's disposal very quickly. And I mean very quickly, right? So they found a way to use that against us. But we don't show up in robes no more. We don't show up in groups like that. Nope. We just change forms. We're taking over the metaphysical plane, the spiritual plane. What? We're not using as much as we did. We're not using physical force to coerce your brain. Oh my God. Goosebumps. We're not using physical force no more. Wow. So, now let's continue. The scene in which Sam went to the church after he was done his work, done his quota, his pop said, "Hey son, I want you to practice. I want you to go over the word with me to get ready for, tomorrow's sermon." Now, what was the verse? What was the word? 1 Corinthians 10:13. 1 Corinthians 10:13. Check y'all. This is so deep, okay? 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, "No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to mankind. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation, he will always provide a way of escape that you may be able to endure it." God damn it, dirty, damn it. When I heard that the fourth time, my most recent time going, when I heard it the fourth time, wow, goosebumps. Chilly, real cold. Yes. Because power of the tongue, right? Power of the tongue. This is biblical quotes. When you say something that you believe, you begin to feel it. And when you feel it through your body, that's when it becomes true. Go back to that scene. Sammy, because he closed the Bible. He had it memorized. Like, this is my escape. This is my way out. My dad don't know it. He kind of do. Because he know I love music. He know I love the blues. Because fast forward, what was the first song that Sammy performed in the juke joint? About his dad. About Pop. With temptation, he will always provide a way of escape that you may be able to endure it. What? How foreshadowing is that? How foreshadowing is that? Like, turn around. Like, complete 360. Wow. So that was, that was so, And that verse was speaking to the nature of temptation. So, what was the beautiful quote that Pop told Sammy before he left? Before the Smokestack twins came out there and, honked at him. He said, "Son, them lines, bro, it's like fucking triple entendres." And I loved English in school. So all of these entendres and these metaphorical allegories, man, oh, they hit. But he said, "Son, you keep dancing with the devil. One day, he's going to follow you home." And I found that very interesting how after he said that, it was like a 5-second pause. Beep, beep. Yo, Sammy, come on, boy. You got $2 out here waiting on a dime. You got $2 out here waiting on a dime. Come on, player. Waiting on them. So I'm going to tell you something that I felt with that scene. Wow. It was a paradox, an oxymoron. His cousins, Smokestack twins, were opening and bringing him into a rapture that he didn't fathom, Sammy. He didn't understand. Now, in retrospect, you were young before. You got older siblings, older cousins who you looked up to, right? Was fun, was cool, athletic, talked to the girls. You know what I'm saying? Went to the parties, maybe, smoking, drinking, doing little badass shit, right? We looked up to that. We wanted to be around that. Now, I'm not saying all of us, because I definitely wasn't one of them kids, but all of us didn't fall to peer pressure. Yeah, we didn't fall to peer pressure as frequent as most, right? So with that, Sammy was still himself, right? But the Smokestack twins almost invited him into that rapture without him even knowing. But they're his big cousins. Because guess what? We fast forward, and when Smoke and Sammy were in the juke joint watching over everybody, and Smoke, pulled the gun. He's like, hey, I'm a soldier, boy, and you just gave me a command. You know what I'm saying? That was Sammy prophesizing his love for the blues, love for music, and him wanting to go to Chicago, him wanting to leave and be the runaway like they did, run away like them. You know what I'm saying? So, we have those influences growing up. We have those influences. And in the beginning, it may look so appealing, right? It may look so appeasing for us to almost follow behind their footsteps, thinking they're leading us in the right direction because they big cuz. You big cuz. I love you, big. I love you, cuz. Like, that's, especially if we close, we locked in. That's cuz right there. So that opened. I'm saying why it's a paradox. That opened the rapture up after saying that prayer or that word in the Bible. But it also taught him the strongest, most life-altering, awakening lesson. Being with them, doing the juke joint together, performing his first time. So that was a beautiful scene, and of course his dad, being a preacher, being a pastor, right? And those of y'all who grew up in the church, I grew up in the church too. I could not stand going to church. I couldn't stand it. I was napping, sleeping. I wasn't disrespectful, but remember, I'm from New Orleans, so I have family members who eat, sleep, breathe New Orleans. Grandpas and grandmas, great-grandmas and great-grandpas, uncles who are really infused in the culture of New Orleans, right? So those y'all who grew up in the church, you understand how important to them, to the family, it is to walk away from the church, especially when you don't give them an explanation. We're young. All we know is, how can we live on our passions? That's all we know. Until we get forced into something. Like, this is what you're doing. You're either doing this, or you out. So his dad was, of course, being the foreseer, attempting to aid him, to provide him wisdom and guidance, you know? But that was a warning. That was a warning. That was a prophecy. That was a prophesizing moment right there. And his family prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed over him, you know? Because the same, watch this. And ooh, it goes to show how much energy, how much guardians, how much provision is with you, is walking with you when you may not be aware. Let's draw this comparison. Let's draw this simile here. As as Sammy's family, his mom and dad, because they called him Preacher Boy Sammy, his mom and dad would pray over him, pray over his safety and his provision, his path, like no tomorrow, right? And he was the big sibling. He had the younger siblings, right? That was the same correlation to Smoke going to see Annie, and that scene when they were in the house. We're gonna talk about it. That scene when they was in the house, and you know, Smoke says to her, "Yeah, I done traveled the world. I done seen ways a man died that's unimaginable. I never thought in my wildest dreams. You know? Ain't no magic, ain't no witches, ain't no spells. Just money, just power. Woo! See? Goes back to that power, that obsession over power, that obsession over white control. Because remember, they have no heart. They have no heart when they do what they do. But we want the power. And I'm also not insinuating that with you gaining wealth and success and money, having control over your mind, your dominion, the fruits that you sow, the fruits that you bear, right? I'm not saying that it's impossible for you to still have integrity, because that's what black folks have always believed, that money and rich people are evil. Hence, why Ryan Coogler put in the script, bro. Oh my goodness. Why Ryan Coogler put in the script. Yeah. Yeah. Why Ryan Coogler put in the script, when the conversation between Annie and Smoke, "I'll trade you." Because the little kids gave Annie, you know, not sure what type of money that was, but it was money. And she was like, "I ain't going nowhere. Give me my money before I cut you, nigga." And he was like, "I'll trade you." And it was American dollars that he got from Chicago, right? He's like, "I'll trade you." And she was like, "I don't want your money. Your money come with blood." And he was like, "You ain't gonna do nothing with that." And she was like, "I ain't going nowhere. My money better." That's what Smoke's saying. My money's better. My money means more. Oh yeah? My money got blood on it. And Annie says, "Well, I don't want that type. Not as much as yours. I don't want success. I don't want money. I don't want status that is tainted." Sure, it can all be tainted. If you look at the glass half full, glass half empty, whatever. How you look at, what's your perception? Is your perceptual intelligence high or low or medium? That was huge. That was huge. That was huge. And let's go back again. When they were outside and Annie looked at him and asked, I want to give it to you verbatim. I want to give it to you verbatim. She said, who you robbed to get them crackers to sell you a meal? All money is bad money. These banal platitude statements. All money is bad money. Or they say all publicity is good publicity, right? They shouldn't serve and have as much power as they do. Money's money. If we were trading markers and that was our currency, we were trading pebbles, we were trading crystals, and that was our currency in the United States of America or wherever. It wasn't dollars, it wasn't paper. Because we made the definitions for them. We gave them meaning, we gave them structure we gave them hierarchy in our life. It's about your perception with it. Because then guess what? There'd be a whole lot of niggas and bitches praying on how to get more pebbles if that was our way of exchange. You see what I'm saying? So I thought that was extremely, extremely beautiful. Extremely beautiful. So, woo, man. Are we cooking? Are we cooking? Goodness. Let me take a little water. Take a little water sip. Ooh, woo. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Let's proceed, man. Now, let's speak on that with the baby that Annie and Smoke had together that didn't make it. The Mojo bag, the magic, the spiritual. When she looked at him and said, nigga, how you know I ain't work every single route my ancestors and my grandma taught me to keep you and your crazy ass brother safe and alive, nigga? Huh? See, this is when forces that are being without your awareness is working for you beyond measure. Beyond measure. And you know what I got from that too? Annie's divine feminine superseded their relationship. Superseded. Her, I'm not going to say provision because that's, her her attainment, her spiritual pearls, her spiritual attainment and guidance and like mentorship. Oh, it was a true love. It was a true spiritual connection between them two, a true spiritual union. Y'all felt it, I know. Now take Stack and Mary. In that encounter, that was a lot of lust. When she was like, I wanted you. When they were in the Juke joint and he was about to escort her out, she was like, I wanted you. I didn't want no white man. I didn't want that. I wanted you. I didn't want to be white. I wanted you. And her way in, her way in was what she said, her mom's dad was half black. So she could still, or so they could still, basically play the fence, right? So Annie and Smoke, divine union. Mary, Stack, lust, infatuation union. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all even know what y'all think about that. Because sure, Mary loved her. Or, excuse me, Mary loved Stack. Sure. But the unconditional black woman love that Annie unforcibly gave Smoke. Oh, wow. So let's now get to Annie and Smoke, the sexual scene, right? When Annie, let's address it. When Annie whispered in that man's ear, that sacred tongue, that sacred language, 𝗕𝗨𝗦𝗦𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗦. Your body ain't forget me? I sound like Delta Slim. Yo! Hey, dog. Hey, bro. Different. Those who can feel, please feel with all your heart. You felt that shit. You felt that. You felt that divine connection. You felt that union. That, I don't want to go as far as saying, twin flames or nothing like that, but man, ooh, woo. Ooh, woo. Yeah. Words in the English language doesn't amount to that connection. That it reigns on a different plane. So if you know, you know. Let him who has eyes see clearly, and let he who has ears hear very clearly what I'm saying. Okay, it's an understanding type of thing with that scene alone, But that was a very intense. That was a very intense scene, So let's proceed. Let us proceed. So throughout the movie, they're going back from Smoke to Stack with Sammy and Cornbread. And, they're playing music. They're playing music in the car. And I do want to mention something about before they departed. That last time they were together, Smoke and Stack, when they went out to get the other car that had the Irish beer, and right when Smoke told Sammy, I need you to watch this nigga. Sometimes he couldn't even watch his back. He couldn't even watch his front. And Sammy was like, I'm going to do my best. And Smoke was like, no, you're going to do what you told. Right? He was like, be safe out there. Smoke and Stack, like, be safe out there. He was like, I will. I will. I love you. Love you too. That was their last, intimate time together. And of course, all of this being foreshadowing, having this type of allegory, man, that was heartfelt. That was heartfelt. Because Smoke was definitely more serious. And Stack was, more giddy, more goofy, more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I love that scene. Now, let's continue, man. Let's continue. One tidbit I want to mention, whenever Smoke went to the market, right? From New Orleans, we got the French market. So they had the stores on the street, one street because of segregation, right? I noticed they had all the white people on one side of the street. And who was on the other side with the white folks? Lisa, who went over there to get her mom. What's her name? Gracie, right? Gracie, okay? Who was Asian. Okay? So, on one street, they had white business, and on the other street, they had black business. We don't care about what's going on over there, and y'all don't care about what's going on over here. Y'all not helping us, we're not helping y'all. That was very interesting. And then when we seen Bo Child, we seen Bo Child come out the back and greet Smoke. That was awesome to see. And here we go. When Smoke gave the little girl that lesson, that teachable moment on negotiating a deal, I thought that was so profound. I thought that was so beautiful, right? Now, when he looked at her and said, "Hey, you can tell time?" She was like, "Mm-hmm. I want you to sit on this horn, and I want you to get in this car, and every minute that I'm gone, I give you 20 cents." And she was like, okay. But he was like, Whenever you talk about numbers always have to be in conversation. Numbers always got to be in unison. So throw a number back at me. Then she said 15 cents, right? Or 50 cents. And she was like, he said, the best I could do is 25. So, went up a little bit more. And she was like, okay, deal. So that teachable moment, anybody would never forget. A young kid, young girl, young boy would never forget when somebody's teaching you about money for real. And she looked like what? She was maybe 14, right? 14, 15 maybe. But when you don't know how to manage your money, that's all they could do. That's all they wanted to do. With the money they got from being out in the plantation, they would drink, they would smoke, they would eat, and dance. But that's all they needed. When when Sammy asked 𝗕𝗏𝗏, well, what did you do with the money that you got from, playing the blues and playing for these white folks? He put up his flask and he said, I drank it. I drank it away. I drank it. Because the degree of repetition, the degree of agony, of pain, of seeing your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your grandparents, your kids, your cousins, your family, this is your tribe. Seeing them being disrespected, being, dissipated and being degraded. Bro, that's to us, man, because we just got a different set of we got a different code of conduct up in here, man. Seeing that shit, it'll really make you, yeah, rightfully so. It'll really push you to that point, man. And that's hard. That's so hard on the soul, on the spirit. That's so hard. So he was like, yeah, I drank it. I drank it away. Every last penny, I drank it. All I wanted to do was just keep playing my music because that fulfills me. That gives me joy. I'm gonna make my little money, and Then when 𝗕𝗏𝗏 told him, nah, nigga, you may be paying $20 maybe tonight. Will your juke joint be here in the next 10 years? Next 10 years after that, we don't know. But the other juke joint that I played for every Saturday night, that's going to be here. That was here 10 years ago, 10 years before that, 10 years from now. And he said that may not even be the time that I have left. That may be longer than the time that I got left on this earth, on this planet. What? That shit profound, bro. So, take another sip, man. Little intermission. Man. Oh my goodness, man. So, that's what was transpiring during these times, giving her that teachable moment on wealth, on success, on money, just being able to negotiate and mean what you say. And then he shoots the niggas who Terry, man, how you been? I was good till you shot me in the ass. Hey, get the niggas out the street, man. Get out the street, put some pressure on it. Pay them off, boom. But then when Mary comes in and they negotiate prices about, making a sign for the juke joint and having her come to help with the food and the drinks and shit, like, you gotta be able to negotiate. I tell you all the time, what you have that is far more valuable than anything is your offer, which you can also correlate with your worth, value. Your offer is your value. Yeah, my jacket, my shirt, because of Just Be Simple, Jaden Banks, my face, my brand, the company, the LLC, this business, the material, right? This shit is worth $30 a shirt. $30 a shirt. Sweatshirt, $60, $70. That's my offer. I'm not changing that. And I can't be bought. You can't buy my soul. My soul is not contractual. My soul is not contractual, people. And that's how you got to live your life. That's how you got to live with your business. You can't be bought. They're going to throw numbers and keep going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher to see what you will grab, what you will take. They're testing you. Yeah, it's all a test. Because if you're doing great with you and your team, how much success, how much money do you need to do what you've already been doing? Like, what's enough? And I had this book, The Gap and the Gain, and it describes that. Because your new peak will soon be your newest low. When do you stop? And it's not about stopping your business or stopping your growth. We're always going to grow. If you're not growing, you're dying. You always have to evolve. But if every peak you're not being grateful for the view that you now have from what you have climbed and what you have accomplished, you will never be grateful for anything because you're just looking for the next big thing, the next idea, the next investment, the next profit, the next product. When is it enough? You keep creating these milestones. And guess what? You have built a wall around you. Now you can't see nothing. Milestones. Mile High Club, milestones. You just built a big ass great wall all around you. And now you can't see shit. So you're stuck in solitude as if you just started. You're stuck in this paradigm, in this box, like you just started. So that was beautiful to me. That was so beautiful. We move on, we move on, we move on. Yeah, the price of power, right? Let's keep talking about that point. The price of power, black masculinity, and the obsession with power, the obsession with wealth, but not our definition of wealth. Like, I got this poster up here. Success. And this one too. Can't really see it, but up there. Success is, the definition of success is having one's own accomplishments achieved, but by definition of your own definition of success. If my goal for the next 3 years is to keep a steady 4-pack, a strong 4-pack, cook 3 to 4 times a week, and drop a video 5 times a week, and stream about 5-6 times a week, I'm great. I'm achieving my goal every single day. The money, the attention, the sales, the attention, not the clout, but the applause, right? The admiration, like, hey, I respect what you're doing because you're doing it with honor. You're doing it with integrity. I'm not selling myself out, or I'm not selling myself short because I'm on the road. I'm on the way to riches. I'm on the way to wealth. Let me focus on the controllables. As my dad say, always control the controllables, son. Control the controllables. Control that. Money, success, cars, whatever. That shit'll come. That's mundane. That's 3D. What we're talking about, success, determination, determinism, willpower, that's 5D, 6D, 7D type energy. Because that is you connecting to the unknowingness of life. I'm connected to the unknown, and I'm making that which is unknown known. I'm exchanging what is metaphysical and bringing it physical. Woo! I'm making what's subconscious conscious. I'm making what's intolerable tolerable. I'm making what's impossible possible because I'm possible. Yeah, me, I am. I am that I am. No matter what I do or where I go, I am that. I live with it. It's not a badge. It's not a suit that I put on. I am this. That's why I love Batman so much. Bruce Wayne is the same as Batman. One of them just don't wear a suit. And people know more about both. People knew Bruce Wayne like crazy because he was, a Nepo baby. But, people knew Bruce Wayne because he was still, right, putting on for his family, putting on for the Wayne family. And he was very famous. But also, everybody knew Batman. But guess what? Still the same person. So, that part is amazing, right? Black men, the narrative suggestion, we have misled into believing that power lies in the accumulation rather than the connection. So, in shorter words, we have been subscribing to the idea that the possessions, the material possessions, comes before the journey and the connection that you make with the people, places, and things along the way. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. We supersede what's in our pockets. We must cast pearls more on our mind, our mental fortitude, our mental possessions, our mental structures, rather than our physical shit, our dicks, what's in our pockets, what's in our bank account, That's numbers, man. That should go up and down. That should go up and down. And I do want to give a shout out, once again, like I always do, to my dog Deontay Kyle and Big Ice Cup Cat from the Grits and Eggs podcast, because they mentioned that beautifully too on a podcast, on an episode, that, you know, black men, we need to start worshiping what is attached to us mentally, and not physically, not what's in our pockets, not what's in our bank account, not down here. So that's also saying, let's worship what we can provide. We can grow instead of what we can misuse, what we can just throw out. Yeah. So big shout out to them doing big things over there. Grits and Eggs podcast, man. Big things. Shout out to them. Okay. We move on. So yeah, we spoke about, you know, the Mojo bag, right? That was like a spiritual anchor throughout Smoke's life, protecting him when he barely even knew. Because let's keep going. Whenever Stack got infected by the zombie, and it was the last couple scenes, and Stack and Smoke were one-on-one fighting each other, bro, that shit came to me like one of those karate movies, you know, like the trainer is fighting the student, you know. We had the same moves. I taught you what I use. I gave you what I am. So Smoke and Stack fighting each other on that last scene. Ooh, that was like somebody's dying. And that was an oxymoron because Stack was already dead. Stack was already infected. But one person is walking out this bitch alive. One person is walking out here alive, and it will be me. And then come to find out, Smoke made Stack promise to not touch Sammy on his, protection. Divine intervention, protection. And look at that. Annie played a humongous role in that, because remember, Annie got infected by Stack, and wow, you see the revelation just unfolding. Annie made Smoke promise, if she gets infected, let her go. Don't allow her vessel to be controlled and manipulated like this. So Smoke had to kill her. Take her heart one by one. Or take her heart, but, you know, because she mentioned with Cornbread. When Cornbread went to go piss and he came back, and this was after Mary infected Stack, right? So after this, Cornbread comes back and he goes, "What's up, y'all? Hey, oh man, let me get up in here so I can help y'all." And then Delta Slim and Annie walk up and go, "Where you was at, nigga? Fuck you was at, nigga?" Right? And then Smoke says, Where you was at, nigga? Nigga, oh man, I had to, I was taking a piss, had to walk my dog, and come to find out I had to take a shit. I had to take a number 2 too. I had to take a shit. Well, how about y'all let me in so we can get going? We can get going. What's going on here? Act like nothing ever happened. He's dead. And Annie said so many things that were so profound. You big as hell. How about? And guess what? You've been in and out here all night. That's what Smoke said. You've been in and out here all night. You ain't asked then. Well, I just think it's unpolite. I think it's unpolite to just walk up and people's shit. And he goes, I mean, you big as hell. You a big brother. How about you just walk past us? Why do you need an invitation for? What do you need an invitation for? See? Because they need to be invited. They need to be invited. They need to be addressed properly, and they need to be invited. When you don't give them that attention, when you don't give them that validation, that approval, I'm also not saying that they can't fuck with you, but if your spiritual aura and your spiritual what's the word I'm thinking? When your spiritual bubble is strong and powerful, you can't be touched because you're protected. You're divinely protected. And then whenever he was like, well, can I at least get my money first? You see, they're very vigilant. They're very resilient. They don't stop. They don't stop. These dark energies, they do not stop, bro. And that's why you gotta end it. You gotta dead it. No pun intended, you gotta dead that shit. You gotta block that dead weight, that cursed flunky energy. You gotta block that shit. And you gotta curse them. No. Shut up. Nothing. Block. You don't give them responses. You cut the cord. You cut the cord and you don't lose sleep about it. That was so profound. So we was asking for the money, right? Can I at least get paid? She told Smoke, be careful. You exchanging. Hey now. You take the money out. Go real slow. Try to take his hand. Bite his. Pop them in the mouth. You see? Wow. That was something. That was something. And then when Stack was in the room from getting infected from Mary, and Annie went to go grab a jar of pickle juice and garlic, and when Stack came out, she poured it on his face, and he ran out the juke joint, back to his people. Y'all, this movie was so revelating. This movie was so revelating, bro. And if y'all gotten this far, I want y'all to like the video, comment, anything that y'all have seen thus far in these scenes that, y'all wanted to mention, y'all wanted to speak on. So now, let's move forward. Okay, let's speak about the groups of people. Okay? So, the Choctaw Indians. The Choctaw Indians. Okay? I want to show y'all this. The Choctaw Native American tribe were traditionally based in southeastern United States, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, right? They were known for their rich history, culture, contribution to various aspects of life, including agriculture, warfare. They was us, and us was them. They was us, and us was them. Whenever the Choctaw Indians came to the white people house, after After Rimmick came, and bribed those people to let him in, gave him the gold, gave him the money, and he seen also, hey, Rimmick seen in their house the KKK suit. So he was like, they are infected. They are one of us. They are I, and I am them. So they ended up letting him in, gave him the gold, gave him the money, and then the Choctaw Indians came. What was happening, y'all? Sun set. Sun was about to set. The Choctaw Indians went back to their land, went back to their estates. Right? And like my mama always told me, nothing good happened past 2 a.m. And even that's pushing it, but nothing good happened past 2 a.m. Word up. So, boy, you better get your ass in that house by 2 a.m. Don't be out late, you know what I'm saying, late as hell at night. Don't you be out that late, because nothing good happens past these times. And I remember that shit to this day. And this was, excuse me, this was a great reminder. This was a great reminder of that shit. Like, dark, demonic energies can only exist in the dark. They can only play in the dark. They can only play when there's not light. There's not much light. Hence why the last scene, when Rimmick got stabbed by smoke and the sun was rising, they all, because they were outside when the sun, they died. They withered away. They withered away. So that was very, 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 very profound. Very, very, very profound. Yeah, agriculture, food. The Choctaw Indians were skilled farmers cultivating crops, corn, beans, pumpkins. They also gathered nuts, berries, fruits, fished, hunted for various animals, right? So they were very skilled. They were very trained in hunting and gathering. You know what I'm saying? Very skilled in that, and also warfare, because they helped a lot of different groups, fight wars and whatnot. Now, one other thing, and this is what got me, right? So Lisa, Bo, and Mary, that was the Asian family, right? Like I said again, I'm from New Orleans. Around the world, in the hoods, why is there so many Chinese foods? So many Chinese restaurants? Why? 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 I'm gonna tell you why. Agents. They're all agents. All of them are agents. Chinese kitchen. Agents. Agents playing both sides. That's what they are. Because how did the vampires even come in the mill? Because her stupid ass said, "Come on in, motherfuckers. Come here, motherfuckers." Gave them the invitation. And who was the first to die? Yeah. And then trying to make Smoke feel bad because he saying, you shot them dudes for messing with your car, but they're talking about our family. They're talking about Lisa, talking about our family, talking about my family. You ain't gonna sit here and do it. You're not gonna do nothing? You're a soldier, right? Guilt tripping him. Trying to guilt trip him. and her stupid ass. Her stupid ass. Some of y'all was probably mad. Some of y'all was probably mad in theaters watching that, you know. But very interesting. Now, so I'm also, for those of y'all who do not know, I'm a live streamer on Twitch. Live stream every day. We played Sleeping Dogs, which is a story mode game, old story mode game based in Hong Kong. Yep. And so their culture in Hong Kong, it ran me through basically the the Hong Kong mob, right? How they smuggle goods, and you know, their gang that's associated up there. And you know, there were a lot of glimpses of, you know, Wukong. And I want to read to y'all some things. Okay? So, I'm gonna have to go back and describe this. But, yeah, so, Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, is a legendary figure in Chinese mythology and religion, primarily known for the 16th century novel Journey to the West. He is a monkey born from a stone who gains supernatural powers through Taoist practices and later becomes a pivotal character in the Journey to the West. Okay? When Sammy was performing his song, when Sammy was in the juke joint performing his song, and then they brought in, Ryan, genius. When they brought in the different sects and the different cultures into the juke joint, you heard like the Run DMC, like the you know, you heard the DJ, you heard the bounce music. You know, you seen some Crips and Bloods throwing up they set. You heard that in the background. You seen a lot of, you know, Chinese. You seen a lot of Chinese wardrobe. You know what I'm saying? And what came to my mind first was Sleeping Dogs, Wukong, Wukong. So bringing all of those cultures together, that was something. And what it showed me, the power of culture, the power of entertainment, the power of culture, and the power of music. Now let me read to y'all something here. Let me read to y'all something, bro. Let me read to y'all something, bro. Okay? Yeah. Sun Wukong. Look at this, bro. Bro, it was beautiful. Y'all, it was beautiful, bro. Like, bro, look at the makeup, son. Look at the makeup, bro. At my high school, we had International Day. So we had a lot of, you know, Wukong imagery shown to us. Because my school, we had, you know, Vietnamese, Asian, Latino, Mexican. We had all types of people, bro. We had all types of people, y'all. Look at this, man. Look at that, bro. It was like Run DMC type of energy. Y'all felt that? Run DMC, Kid and Play, you know, NWA, like, Okay, check this out. So the Choctaw people were forcibly removed from Oklahoma from their homes in Mississippi and Alabama in 1831 to 1833 to make way for the European farmers. Only 5,000 remained, called the Mississippi Band of Choctaw. So they were the last group. And they shown a picture of the Indians and the Africans, the black folks, in the first scene when Annie was speaking over, talking about the blues, talking about culture and music, right? So yeah, talking about the potato famine. Okay, the natives, the Irish, and the black people were all victims of European imperialism. They are us. They're not us, but they were with us. And we were with them. And we were with them, bro. Y'all, this was so good, man. This was so freaking good, y'all. Like, the imagery, I keep saying this, y'all, the imagery, the revelations, the epiphanies I had, the prophecy, the prophesizing moments, man, the foreshadowing events. This whole movie was foreshadowing. Everything in this movie was foreshadowing, y'all. Just beautiful, And I also want to speak to y'all about the Haints, okay? So let me first give y'all my introspection, what I felt, what I heard, what my spirit was telling me the first and second watch of Sinners. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew what it meant. When I heard Annie talk about Haints, this is what came to my mind. Like, what came to my mind was giant like a giant ghost. That's what came to my spirit. So, of course, I ended up looking it up. And a haint is referring to referring to a maleficent or evil spirit, often considered a ghost or specter. These spirits are believed to cause harm, misfortune, or even death, particularly in the South. The word haint is an alternative spelling of haunt. Yeah, which historically referred to a ghost or, in hoodoo belief, a witch-like creature seeking to chase victims to their death by exhaustion. Let's run that back. Which historically referred to a ghost or a witch-like creature seeking to chase victims to their death by exhaustion. Wow. And something just came to me right now. Chasing. Oh my goodness. Having this microwave chased culture. Like, we got to get to it. We got to get to it. We got to get to it. We have to exhaust. We have to exhaust ourselves to get to a certain place. Subtly, sometimes throughout our journey, haints, ghosts can haunt us on the chase. So every single day feels like the same fucking day. Every work day feels like the same. You working your job every day. It's so repetitious, you don't even feel alive. It's so repetitive, you don't even feel yourself waking up. You wake up on autopilot, brush your teeth, shower, maybe eat breakfast, put gas in your car to get to work on autopilot. It's all autonomous. Wow. That's what just came to me. A witch-like creature seeking to chase victims to their death by exhaustion. A haint. These aren't Haints, man. These are not Haints. These are zombies. And Annie knew the exact concoction to make for zombies. So Haint etymologically means ghost. Haunt, a haunted ghost, a haunting ghost. Wow. And that what Annie did, you know, knowing this, protection, man, divine protection. Okay. we move on, people. Woo. Okay. Let's see. The Haints, aka the zombies, sought after Sammy. They wanted Sammy first. What did Rimmick say whenever the three of them were outside and they all came to the doors? The Smokestack Twins, Cornbread, Annie, Mary, everybody came to the door. Oh, and you must be Sammy. Oh, I heard your voice through these walls. Then it was just beautiful. And the little robot girl talking about something, beautiful. It's creepy. It's creepy as shit. And also, too, y'all can look up, we have another channel, JB and the Fam University, where we did this a year and a half ago. We did a reaction to this trailer. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, we did a reaction to this. And you know what? I got a little bit of flack from saying this is like I said nothing about it being scary. And clearly in the preview, in the trailer, there is, subtly scary, jump scare, horror moments. That's what they want. That's Ryan. That's the genius behind Ryan. Yeah, I want y'all to think it's scary. But that's why art is so beautiful, because if 10 people look at a picture, we all should have different definitions and different meanings of this photograph. That's why art is so beautiful. We all have our own perspectives and perceptions of art. Yeah. So, yeah, I got a little bit of flack for saying that this is very similar to, a Get Out or Runaway Slave type movie. Because I'm with my people, man. I know what the hell going on. When you're tapped in divinely, you don't need to really read too much shit. Because the words and the imagery, the symbolism speaks quicker and louder than the wording. Like, so yes, I was correct. A year and a half ago, not even seeing shit about Sinners. People giving me, oh yeah, it's supposed to be a horror film, with zombies and scary. I ain't jumped out once. Well, I mean, that's me, right? But, anyway. Yeah, so about Sammy. So they heard Sammy's voice. And get this. They heard Sammy's voice singing through the walls. They were after Sammy. Because what did Rimmick say when they were, fighting? We want you. Y'all, we want Sammy. Sammy's the youngest. What do they do? The hierarchy groups who run the world. the selected elite, right? They seek after the youth. They pander, they grift, and they latch on to the youth's mind. You can't change no mind of somebody who's 40 plus, 30 plus, right? And that's sad because 30 is still young. But 40, 45, 50 plus, you can't change the mind of them. We already got them. That's not fun. That's not our battle. That's not our game to test. Our real experiment is these kids, is the youth. So, Sammy, you love blues, you love music, you love, come on. We'll take you. All of y'all old farts, y'all could stay in there. Y'all could die in there. We want Sammy. I thought that was very grandiose. You know what I'm saying? The youngest one they coming after. Okay? The elites coming after the youth. They infiltrate the black community with culture that we created. Let me say that again. I will. The elites coming after the youth, so they infiltrate the black community with culture that we created. Wow. Another thing I wrote here. Haints, the Haints soul gets stuck in the body. They can't feel the warmth of a sunrise, so they keep repeating this life. That's what Haints do. Zombies, different. Y'all, this movie was so This movie was so groundbreaking, bro. And I'm not late. I'm not early. I'm right on time to the party, man. This is already almost 2 hours. And we still got these, man, what? We still got like 2 or 3 more scenes to talk about. This shit was groundbreaking, bro. And like I said, I'm seeing it again. Probably tomorrow. No cap. Okay? Let us move on. Yes, speaking again about the black woman balancing out his masculine energy. Did y'all see how soft and poised, relaxed Smoke got whenever he was around Annie? Come on now. Okay. And also, let's figure out this too. Stack, Smoke, Sammy. Yeah, they family, but they some freaks. They some freaks. They some submissive freaks. Sammy pulling up Mary Lee. What's her name? Pearline, excuse me. Pearline, bringing her to the back closet, pulling up her skirt, and she even tell the boy, hey, hold on. I walked here. I'm a little sweaty. I'm a little oily and sweaty, but mostly sweaty. Let me wash up first. He talking about some, you so beautiful. I just want to taste you. Oh, for real? For real, Sammy son? For real, Sammy Sosa? Freak boy. Sammy freak ass. Sammy freak yourself. And then Stack taking Mary to the little room. When he see that she drooling, he go, baby, you're drooling. And she just, you want some? And he go, yeah, spit. Oh! Yo! Stack the Mac. What's up, boy? She's spitting in your mouth and open up and like she at the dentist and okay. Like what's really going on here? Family full of freaks. Family full of submissive freaks. God bless it. Yeah, they some submissive. Was it submissive, dominant? Yeah, submissive. They like to be with submissive women. Yeah, ain't no wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like what you like, bro. Like what you like. Fellas, if you out there too and you like a more dominant woman that tell you what to do and choke you around and slam you up and pull, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we ain't judging. That's the last, man, look. That shit was great. That shit was great. But we move on. And of course, y'all seen how Rimmick was branding Get this. Rimmick was branding everybody who he infected, they infected with the gold coin that they gave to the first white family. Y'all noticed that, right? Now, what was that comparison? What was that angle? Fraternities, what do they do? Stupids. You got to get initiated and branded it. You got to get branded it. Like a brand? Like you are now property of, whoa, type of shit y'all on. Type of shit y'all on. See? Have it on the shoulder, you get branded. Had it shit on your chest, get branded. On your leg or something. See? Y'all saw that comparison? These groups to feel included. Because you so lost. Yeah, let me join this frat. Wait a minute. I have never seen a white man or a white boy with a branded tattoo of their fraternity. Wow. I never seen it. Y'all let me know. It could be a thing. I don't know too many. Are they? Well, let's look it up, shall we? Let's look it up. The white fraternity groups. Let's look this up here, huh? Oh yeah, this shit bonk. This shit bonk. This shit is bonky. What? Phi Delta Theta Sigma Chi Kappa Sigma. Wait. I don't like that. Why? Third eye, third eye, third eye. Why all they shit Sigma? The 1%, the 1 to 5% of males. Sigmas. Kappa Sigma. Sigma Sigma. Sigma Theta Delta Sigma. Why? And Omega Psi Phi, that's a black fraternity. Right? Yeah, Omega Psi Phi. Omegas, yeah. I am the Omega. Omega is Omegas is like the 0.01% of men, and then Sigmas are like 1%, 1 to 5% of men in the world. I made a whole video, whole damn near dissertation on that too. The breakdown of the Sigma male. Let me give y'all the official title here, huh? Yeah, exposing the hidden mastermind of the Sigma male. That's correct. Y'all should go watch that. Y'all would definitely love that. But okay. Just a quick thought, right? I never seen white boys brand themselves with their fraternity on their shoulder, on their chest, on their neck. I never seen that. Correct me if I'm wrong, could be wrong, right? I've never seen that. Anyway, let's move on. Now, let's also go to this too, right? Because now we're going to the end of the movie. Hogwood. He was a grand dragon, a grand master mason. That's what he was. He was a grand master mason, clan member, and they bought the Juke joint from a lie. And that's who you did business with. That was the grounds in which you did business. Now, who are we to blame? The Smokestack twins, right? But unraveling this shit. I'm doing business with the devil. I'm doing business with devils. It's not just one idea of a devil, but you got to think, in religious terms, they used to view the devil as one being, as one entity, one thing. Same with God, same with Jesus, right? But the more we unravel information and we, right, we got that, that real knowledge of self, real deep knowledge of self. Like, if we are made in the likeness and image of God, why not speak to yourself more? Why not talk with yourself more, with your higher self? Speak out loud. Speak things into existence. I mean, you do it all the time. You just don't believe it. You don't trust it. You don't lean into it. Nor are you taught to lean into it, to trust it, to hone it. It is a skill, yes. Because the third dimensional distractions and hindrances and filters that are placed in front of us to impede us from our higher selves, oh man, it's astronomical. It's yeah, man. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot. So the more we talk to ourselves is the more one we feel with nature, the more one we feel with life. But yeah, Hogwood being a grand master mason, a grand master clan member, KKK. That's wild too. Also foreshadowing, because the Smokestack twins were speaking to the clan when Hogwood said, the clan don't exist no more. Because he knew him and his clan, or the clan, had to change forms. They had other people do their dirty work. Now, let's get to these last two scenes, okay? Quick intermission, quick intermission, quick intermission, quick intermission, quick intermission. Okay, here we go, y'all. These last two scenes, bro. So, this scene in which Sammy was getting away. Sammy got away. And Rimmick flew from the top window, from the top floor, and attacked Sammy. Sammy was getting away. He got into the water. It was almost sunrise. And he still has his guitar in his hand. And 𝗕𝗨𝗦𝗦 gave him the guitar, right? Before he sacrificed himself. Before he sacrificed himself to the zombies, he gave him the guitar and said, run, go, go. And Smoke told him the same thing. Go, go, make it to sunrise, make it to sunrise. That water scene. That water scene, boy. When Rimmick was, he was screaming. He was screaming and infiltrating his mind. Basically initiating him into the dark side. Because he was more young, so he needed a little bit more guidance. They were in the water. Rimmick is grabbing him, and he loses his guitar in the water. And he kind of surrenders. I felt Sammy surrenders in the water. And he starts saying, look, he looks up, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. And then Rimmick and all the other zombies come out and repeat the same exact prayer. What does Rimmick say? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. They even say amen. The nerve. Because he has the minds of everybody. So he knows what it is. And here's what he said, for those who missed it. Here's what Rimmick says. Rimmick said, that was the, chills. That was the same prayer. That was the same language. That was the same religion that the forefathers, the Klan, the KKK, gave us before they got to me. On this land, that's the same exact language, the same exact religion, same exact prayer they told me. So guess what? It's not saving you. It's not saving you. Religion is not the way out. What Kendrick Lamar said, I am not your savior. Religion is not your savior. You won't be saved from religion, but you will be saved from the being of God. You walk, you live, you serve like God. You're not God, but if you're made in the image and likeness of, you operate like God, like a God. The Romans, the Egyptians, Greeks, mythology, they got 5,500 different gods. When Kanye said, I just told you who I thought I was, a god. I just told you. But you know what? It would have been better if I told you I am a nigga. Yep. That sounds more like it. Now shut up and go play the fucking drums. Go shut up and make an album. Go shut up and make a song. So I found that it was mockery. It was mockery. It was baffling to hear Rimmick, the devil, repeat that prayer with him and recite it with him. That was just wow. That was just wow to me. That was just wow to me. So yeah, I say they made a mockery of the Bible, religion, and slavery. All in one. All in one. And him being, preacher boy Sammy, his dad being a preacher, it's embedded in him. It's embedded in us, black folks. We talk with a certain cadence, with a certain swag, with a certain style. It's hypnotizing, And he was mocking that. Like, yeah, you may be preacher boy Sammy, but that's just keeping you stagnant. That's just keeping you and your family stuck. That's what I got. Y'all even know what y'all got from that scene. And then when Sammy smacked him over the head with the guitar, I really like the depiction of it affecting the music, the soul. Whenever him getting slapped over the head with the guitar, it affected all the vampires. All of them went, ah! And something that I connected with that was high frequencies can't live where low frequencies are. They can't coagulate. They can't coexist. That's what I got. That's what I got from that. Wow. Like, ah. music, culture, entertainment. That's what I got. And then lo and behold, smoke comes and he, pierces Rimmick right in the heart. And that's when, we see the image of what they shown in the trailer. Him holding him tight, Smoke holding Sammy tight and being in the water and shaking and shit, watching all the vampires die. Watching them die. So then sun rises, they stay together. Smoke gives them the key, say go home and bury that damn guitar. Go home and bury that damn guitar. But you know what Sammy thought of? That prayer that he recited with his dad, that he was supposed to recite today. But he was up the whole day fighting zombies. Ain't that something? Ain't that some shit? No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to mankind. God's faithful, but he will not let you be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation, he will also provide a way of escape that you may be able to endure. That's what he felt. So did he go home and bury the guitar? You know what happened. No, he didn't. He went into that church. Everybody screamed. He was bleeding. And this was the same scene that was in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Wow, right? And he got, confronted by his dad. Sammy, come here. He got confronted by his dad, and that was very heartfelt. That was very wholesome. That was very emotional. Full circle moment, right? And because remember, music was and still is our form of escape, our form of escapism. But we can't escape no more. We can't escape this. We can't run from this. What you run away from will always chase you. And what I got was the guitar wasn't just an instrument, but it was a weapon of freedom and liberation. That's what it was, man. That's how they expressed the freedom. Let's go back another tidbit. Whenever they were in the car and Stack, Sammy, and Delta Slim, and Delta was reminiscing and explaining about his homeboy, his friend, who got hung and castrated, and his previous history with being a slave and whatnot. He was about to cry in the car, but he went and he made it into a song. He made it into a song. And that's when Stack said to Sammy, you got that guitar in your hand, homeboy? Better use it, put that thing to use. Escapism. But we use that as a tool, not a weapon. We use it as a tool for freedom, for liberation. Even for growth, right? Because during, real slavery days, that's the only way we could talk. We had to speak in code. Until they started to catch on to the songs and the cadence and stuff we used to code, man. Code. There are too many things that us as black folks know to do that white folks could never pick up on. It'll take them decades to figure out. Decades. So that was beautiful. Now, the last scene. Oh, well, whenever Smoke was in the bushes, and Hogwood and all the crackers, they came out to, you know, see what's going on with the juke joint. Grand opening, grand closing, and he, you know, was in the bushes with the sniper and, you know, killing them and shit, and then he had the machine gun, the submachine gun ready, and just, you know, gunning them down. And that last scene also with Annie holding their baby. Oh man, just revelating, just full circle everything, passionate, full circle everything. And she called him by his real name multiple times throughout the movie, but that scene, she called him by his real name. Elijah, you better put that smoke away. You ain't smoking here. You Elijah. Put that smoke away. I don't want that by this baby. Huh. Because you're not smoke with... Yeah. You're not smoke. You Elijah. And he said, Papa's here. Beautiful. So now, really, the very last scene. The very last scene, okay? Let me take an intermission. Take a quick swig, y'all. Quick swig. I got shit to say about this one. Okay, so we see Sammy Moore. What was it? 1993? I'm pretty sure it said 1993, right? Yeah, okay. Sammy's older now. And what is he doing? He's still playing music. He's still playing music. He's still, you know, playing blues in different... He was in a club, right? Seemed like a little lounge club area. And his bodyguard comes and he says, hey, Sammy, we got two... I know we're about to close up, but we got two people that want to see you. Like, is that cool? And he goes, that don't bother me, no. That don't bother me none. Mind you, Sammy's older now, and we still see the scar on his face, right? So guess who comes in? Looking the same age, because they don't age. They do not age. You hear what I said? They do not age, because they do things that keep them youthful, but they're old as... You got me. Okay. So, Mary and Stack comes in the club. And Sammy looks like he's seen a ghost. So they sit down right next to him. You know, I'll have whatever the old man's having, says Stack. And they sitting there, you know, just catching up, talking. And of course, what seems like this their first time talking, seeing each other, speaking since, you know, because Sammy asks how. And that's when Stack tells him, Smoke promised me not to mess with you. And he let you, you know, gotta let you live. I promised him to not mess with you and let you live your life. And that's what happened. Because he smelled him. Stack smelled him. That's what they do, to smell how fresh your blood is. That's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. They have to. They wouldn't be alive no other way else. So anyway, he tells Sammy, you don't got too much left, do you? Sammy stays quiet, and he ends up playing them the same song, foreshadowing everything full circle. He ends up playing Mary and Stack the same song that he played for him in the car. Traveling, and I don't know. Traveling, I don't know why the hell I'm here. Oh my God. I cried. I cried. The second time I cried. I cried, bro. The same song that he played turned my pain into a passion. Crazy. That's so crazy. Now, something very valuable that Stack told Sammy. We got all your records. I can make it to where you stay longer, you keep touring, and you keep living. You know what Sammy says? I think I'd have seen enough of this place. I'd have seen enough of this shit already. Wow. Now let's take the 21st century. Who I got right behind me? X. They're still making songs. They're still putting out songs with his name on it. And he's not here. Physically, he's not here no more. They put out a song that's long, 2000 something with Michael Jackson. He's not here no more, physically. Who's the financial gain going to? They have control over all of our everything. They have control over all of our passions. Everything. I can make it to where you stay longer. You keep touring, doing all this shit. So, you're the handler. And what am I? Yeah. And he gave him some advice, or what he thought was advice. You know, I don't like that. What he said, rock and roll shit. I like the blue. You know, I like you being real. You want to keep being real? I like the real. I like the blues. Ain't that about a bitch? And that's how they grow their wealth. No honor, no integrity. There's no honor, no integrity, no respect amongst thieves. It's all thievery. That's what it's built on. So then it leaves people feeling like we have to plagiarize, we have to steal. Artists, rappers, producers, actors feel like they have to steal to win. They gotta cheat. They gotta lie. They gotta kill to win. It's blasphemous, bro. It's blasphemous and disgusting. So I found that very profound as well. We got all your records. We got all your hits. We got all of them. We got all of them. Did it with R. Kelly. Did it with Prince. Did it with definitely Kanye. And these are people that have spoken out about it tremendously. Michael Jackson. What he was about to do with Sony. Come on now. He had the whole the Beatles catalog. Like, we got all your records. I can make it to where you stay. Live longer. Keep touring. Keep doing what you love. Using your love against you. Wow. That hurts. That hurts. So what I got from a lot of that, watch where you sign. Watch who you make contractual agreements with in any facet, in any aspect. Business, relational, energetically. Watch. Watch. Seriously. Seriously. Seriously, bro. And the last thing he says, you want to know something? You want to know something? That day, before everything that happened, that day was the best day of my life. Was that the same for you? Did y'all feel the same way? Stat goes, that was the last time I seen my brother. And everything, foreshadowing, just swipes in front of our face. Last time I seen my brother. Last time I was with my brother. That was the last time I seen the son. And Mary goes, take care of little Sammy. That was the best day ever. The best day ever turned into the most pivotal day ever. Man, that's just that weighs so much on me. That weighs so much on my heart. And just gotta be present, man. Just gotta be present with it, bro. Ryan, Michael B. Sometimes you can't explain, man. Sometimes, man, you can't explain. You can't explain why you feel what you feel to other people, man. Depending on how you look at it, man, it's a blessing or a curse, but just imagine what Sammy went through all of these years, man, all of these decades of his passion, his love is what got him out. Escape. That's what got him out. That's what freed him. But with what he went through and what he's seen, he was still in shackles mentally. You can't unsee some shit like that. You cannot unsee some shit like that, man. And in 2025, we got streamers talking about streaming is more difficult than a 9-to-5. Working a job. And y'all want to fucking categorize the job. No, the fuck it's not. Y'all just don't love what y'all do. Y'all don't give a fuck about it. Y'all want to compare? Pandering for these fucking talking points and for these viral clips and shit. Everything is a clip to everything is a clip to y'all. Everything is a clip. Piss me off. No substance. That's what y'all lack. Like, I'm glad that people are becoming so much more woke. And even that is, colloquialism. That's the term that I meant to say earlier. Colloquialism. But it's a colloquial term now. So let's just say aware. The awareness. The hyper awareness with information, with insight. With the influx and abundance of information that is placed upon us with technology and all of this shit, right? Everything is accessible Everything is disposable. But with this much information has also came a strong lack of wisdom. Wisdom and application. You gotta apply this shit too, man. And I'm an Aquarius too, so I'm saying this. Like, I'm a true Aquarius. I got 5 different placements of Aquarius in my chart. Or 4. I'm a real life Aquarius, bro. I'm a real air sign. I'm a real Aquarius, bro. I love this shit. But a couple years ago, I'm now applying all the wisdom that I've gained years ago, decades ago. And it's working. So I got to get ready and stay prepared for the next batch of information, insight, plus application and wisdom that comes with. And I'm ready. I'm ready. And Sinners is a great depiction of that. Information plus application. Information plus wisdom. Because the wisdom is the experience. The wisdom is the experience, y'all. The information is just the book, the hardback, the copies. I'll never forget. Ever. Sammy will never forget. Ever. I'll never forget. Ever. And that's why people make books. That's why. That's why. So, ladies and gentlemen, reclaim the soul, man. Reclaim your soul. I'm a born sinner, but I die better than that, I swear. You were always where I needed you to be, whether you were there or not there. I was born sinning, but I did better than that. Don't care if you ain't fucking with that. I don't care. Through allegory and symbolism, Sinners critiques the modifications of Black culture, the pursuit of wealth, and the spiritual consequences of forgetting one's roots. But within the haunting and daunting, there's always hope. There's always wisdom. There's always application. The story asserts that music, memory, and community, though being under a microscope, a small one at that, can still serve as tools of resistance and resurrection. To be reborn again, to be rebirthed. The soul once claimed can be reclaimed. Don't let nobody take your spirit. Don't let nobody take your soul. Nobody. This has been almost 3 hours. I want to say thank you to everybody who has gotten this far, who have watched 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, the whole thing. I love you. I value you. I appreciate you like no other. Thank you so much. If you haven't seen Sinners, that's tough. I just spoiled the whole movie for you. But I love y'all. Protect your mind. Protect your mind. Don't feel bad for changing. Do not feel bad for changing, man. It's a superpower because most stay the same. They do the same shit. When you know how to live on your highest passions, do it as frequently as possible at or to the highest level as possible, then that's when you really start to live. So I love y'all. Take care. Just be simple. Subscribe, like, comment. It's your boy JB, man. And I'm out.